Right, okay. So hopefully you're familiar with the two different modes. So this is teacher mode, and that's or the login that your teachers are all sharing currently.
Yeah.
And then when you switch to pupil mode, that's what they see. Yeah. So the main difference is obviously all these tools here and the bar along the top and these little news alerts here. So those are what we call teacher tools, and they are to help you customize busy things to change what the pupils are saying in the pupil mode. So when you get busy things, you get what we call setups. And if you look here, it says made by busy things. So these are what we call default setups, and they're really kind of like an open bag of content, a bit of a playground, if you like, that anybody can use. So when you go into year one and science and so on, everybody else can do that, and they can also start customizing the content. And the problem with that is that any changes that one teacher makes, another teacher can see, and that you don't know what the children are doing in there. They too are just wandering around having fun, hopefully. So what I'm going to show you is how to make a different kind of setup to the the ready-made ones, and it's called a secure class setup. And all you have to do is go up here, the very top, to manage setups. And then you go into the manage setups area. Where you are is always labeled at the top. And always take note of the teacher bar at the top, because these are always the options that you have at any given point. Okay. And that is constantly changing. So when you're in an activity, for instance, it will show you, you'll probably get access to the activity settings and the curriculum links for that activity. But just to make you aware of that. But right, so we've gone up to the manage setups area, and I'll make an early years setup. If you look, it says new early years setup class. So you just click this plus, and it defaults to the new kind of setup. It's called a class setup secure, and that gives you all the pupils their own files area, full timeline reporting, and the ability to send feedback. So it's perfect for remote learning. If you look, the icon is slightly different. The ready-made ones, the made by busy things ones, have got a different icon, and that's because these are what we call simple setups, but we're making one with this icon, which is a secure setup. Okay, so the very first thing it's going to ask you to do is take ownership of this setup. Now that's because we want to set up a line of communication between you and your pupils. So at the moment, Busy Things only knows what school you're from. It doesn't know who you are, because you're all sharing the same login. So you've got to go through this process if you want a class setup. So you create a teacher ID. So these are ones that I've created in the past on this account. I'm going to show you how to create a brand new one. So first thing you do is you put your email address in, and then you will be sent an activation code. This is a one-time process. Once you've done it, right, there's my email. Just come in, and it tells you a bit about why you should set up a teacher ID, but you'll get this code at the top there, look. So I've got Moon 29, I'm going to go back now and pop it in there. Okay, and then I can put my name. So I'll be Mrs. Addison, and I'll do 4 1s. And then you can spend a bit of time making a little avatar of yourself. If you press this button in the corner, it'll give you random faces. So if you Can you shut the dogs up? And then you've got further details there. So have a play with that. Okay. So, and then I click OK, right? So it's just, that's just telling you, you are Mrs. Addison and your ID code is 4 1s, right? So we're making a class setup, but because Busy Things knew that you were just logged in as a school and not a person, it asked you to identify who you were along the way. If I had already been one of those teachers that I'd made previously, I would have just been able to click on it and log in. But now I'm going to, so say there's another teacher that you work closely with. This is the point at which you would add an additional owner. You can do that later if you've made an ID before they have. So you don't have to be the sole owner, other teachers can use it. So we'll call this Oak Class and we'll go to upper reception. I'm going to change the icon and I'm going to change the background and click save. Okay. So at this point, depending on what age range you're teaching, you can decide whether you want the pupils to enter the class themselves with a class code, and that's the way they identify themselves, and they'll go through a similar process that you've just been through to create a little avatar of themselves. So one time only thing, and then basically you get a class with all the pictures of all the children in. But I'm going to, for this demonstration, I'm going to add the pupils myself because we're doing a reception class, so you probably would do this. I'm going to move to a spreadsheet here. I've got names and surnames, but they don't have to be in different columns. It handles it quite well. We haven't yet put an import button. So worst case scenario, you've got to sit and type them in, but you should just be able to copy and paste, slap them in there, like I'm doing now. And you'll get some options on the next screen to leave names as they are. And I'm going to correct capitals and shorten and click save. Okay, so what that's done is it's put all those pupils in my class setup, and it's given every single one of them a 3-picture passcode to enter the class. And I'll show you that now. So I'm going to click print pupil slips and open it up. Okay, so the first pupil in Oak Class, they log in with the classroom login, the pupil login that they're using already. And then to enter Oak Class, they will have to click on their name and put those 3 pictures in. You can edit these if you want. You can change what they are before you print this out. And I'll show you where to do that in a moment. Right, so what we've done, if you look now, we're still in Manage Setups. We press this plus. It took us through the process of creating an identity and making a class and adding the pupils. And if you look, it says made by Mrs. Addison. So this is your class now. And you have all your pupils have a picture passcode to enter it. So what we've set up is a line of communication now between you and the pupils. So we can actually track what they're doing now. Okay, so what it does when you create an ID is it pops a My Busy Things area on here. So if I just show you, stop using that teacher ID. Once there's a class setup in existence on a school account, this My Busy Things area will always exist, even if it's just for that one person that has a class setup. But all of the teachers, once they've created an ID and a class setup, the process will be logging in with your teacher login that you know already, and then identifying who you are. So we're going to go, we've logged in with the school login that you know. You click on here, you click on your name, and you put in your passcode. And then it shows you all your setups, okay? So this is how you manage. You might be teaching in more than one class, so you might have more than one in here. You might also have a simple setup for an after-school club that that you don't want to track. But for now, we've created this one. And these are your messages coming back from pupils in your classes and your files, anything that you've made on Busy Things. But if I click this, what I get is the teacher hub for my class setup. And this is where I can set assignments, where I can see what the pupils have been doing. I can manage the pupils in my class. I can see what the whole class has been doing. And this is where I find content and push it forward to the class. If I click up here, I see what the children see. So this is what they see in my class at the moment. I'm just going to show you, if I click on Manage Pupils, these are all the pupils that we added. And I can see their passcodes here, and I can edit their passcodes. So if I change that now to 3 gloves, so we don't struggle to remember it. We're taking the first pupil in the class, Anne-Marie. I'm going to give, she can do this herself, so I'll show you that. So, oh, I didn't save that, did I? So, right, okay. So I'm going to send her a message here. I'm going to say, welcome to my class. You can batch messages. So I could send a message to all the pupils here, send message to selected pupils. But in the Manage Pupils area, this is just a message. It's not attached to a piece of work. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. So all we've done there is just send a welcome message so that when she logs in for the first time, she sees that. So let's make an assignment. We will assign a project. Have you done this before? Maybe. No. Right, okay. I'll slow down then. So when you go into that assignments area, the top left, it basically finds the activities that we can track, and you can customize what level they're put forward at along the way of assigning it. So this was a project type activity, and I'm going to choose a template. So we do polar bear. I can give it a start date and an end date, so you could plan a whole week's work here. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, you get this option to send a blast. And what that does is it sends a message to the whole class. So every single child that logs in will see this message and this assignment at the top of their the screen that they land on. You'll see that. Please colour the polar bear. Right, so I'll just go back and just reiterate where I am. So I went into here to make an assignment for the entire class. Okay. When you click that, you get these options on the left-hand side. This is what you've got to decide whether you want to assign a project. So projects are like, they use our Busy Publishing tool. So they can be either just painting, or they can be writing and drawing and using clip art, and they're topic based. So mm-hmm. When I click on that, I can enter a search term in here. So if I put mini beasts, you can see anything that comes up there, and then you get your assign button here, and then you go through that process that I've just been through. And when you come back here, this is where you manage the assignments that you've got, that you've made. So you can see here it says no submissions because nobody's done it yet. You can also make a custom project. So those are templates with nothing written in them. So it could be you want them to make a poster, or you want them to write about their lockdown or their half term, and you just click that, click assign activity, next, choose a template, and then you've got a selection of writing templates here. And the pen tool is where the children can draw, and the A is where the children can write. So I'm looking at writing templates there. I could just choose a painting template. So this is where they create images. So those are nice sort of half-term weekend activities, as if you want a custom one. But you can also choose from 95. There's more than that on Busy Things, but because we're in a reception class at the moment, it's just showing reception appropriate stuff. Okay.
Are you able to mix the content? So for example, if you've set up a reception class, are you able to put in any year one activities? If that makes sense.
Yes. Well, if you're at the upper end, it will overlap. So if I come into here, into the curriculum browser, and I look at maths, I'm in Key Stage 1 now, number year 1, there's still content coming up. If I was in if this setup was what we do is we kind of go slightly above and slightly below. So there's a kind of a blur, you know, on the barrier. So if you were in nursery, you might not see as much year 1 content.
So you're better off going higher?
Yeah, I think so. Or having two class setups set for each year group.
It's because the classes that we've got, they're mixed ages. So you might have a Key Stage 2 class, but then you've got all of Key Stage 2 within that. You know, you might have 10 pupils of varying ages that are working at different levels. So.
Go higher, because it's better to go to the top one, and you'll see the stuff that's lower down. And always you can always at the highest level you get all the customization options for dropping it down. So I'll show you something like that now. So if we go into the curriculum browser and maths, for instance, what you can do is, when you've found a game that you like, and you say you have got 4 year groups in a lesson, what I would do is I would play the activity, and when you come back you think, yeah, this is perfect, and you go to pin, okay, and you create a new pin. So this would be year 3, and you choose settings, activity settings, and you can pin this activity at any of these levels. Okay, so I'm going to choose the lowest one. So I'm going to call it year 3 maths game. And again, I can give that a start date and an end date, and I can customize what it looks like there. So if I click confirm and close, and then I can go to the same activity again and do the same thing, create a new pin, and I'll put year 4. And then choose settings, activity settings. I can put that right up to level 3 and click confirm and close. So what we've done there is we've created these 2 little folders, a year 3 maths and a year 4 maths folder, and in there is the game set at different levels, so you can differentiate that way. Okay, I'm going to show you what all this looks like to a pupil. What we're doing at the moment is we're being a teacher, getting stuff ready for the kids. And then in a minute, we're going to log in as that pupil, Anne-Marie, with the 3 gloves. And I'll show you what all this looks like to her, the things that we've been doing. So we made an assignment. And at the end, if you remember, we sent a blast. Any blasts that you make go into this area here. This is it. So I can edit this if I've made a spelling mistake or I don't want it anymore. Or I can blast any pins that I've made there. So if I do that, you can see those 2 pins that I've just made have come up in here. There's not always a need to blast a pin because it appears at the top of the class setup anyway. A basic blast is a message to the entire class, and blast an activity will choose a game. So let's choose an art game. Let's do an elephant. This is a bit like the polar bear, but it could be anything, obviously. It's another way of just finding a piece of content really quickly and giving them something to do. So that's gone forward to the entire class as well now. So what I'm going to do, I think now, I'll just recap. We sent a message through the Manage Pupils area and we changed the passcode. We checked it and we changed it to something else. The print login details is up here, and that brings up that PDF that I showed you. So if you do have children that you think might struggle remembering a particular passcode and you want to change the passcode to 3 apples or something, you can do that there before you print it. And this is where you would also add additional pupils that maybe join the class for some reason. So this is all managing your pupils, and all we did in there was change the passcode and send a message. We made an assignment and we made these 2 pins and we sent 2 blasts. Okay, so I'm going to go off now and I'm going to switch to pupil mode. So same thing, once there's a class on your school account, there will always be a My Busy Things area. And that's saying, are you somebody with an ID, a Busy Things ID? Tell me who you are, basically. So I click on that. There's only 1 class in existence on this account at the moment, but all the class setups, if you have, all your teachers made secure class setups, they would be here. So the child has to click on their class, click on their name and enter their code. And then they see everything that we've done. Okay, so they've got a message from the teacher saying, welcome, colour the elephant, and then do the polar bear. I've done 2 things that are very similar, but these could be anything that you've found back in your teacher hub and you've pushed forward. We've got 1 message here, which just says, welcome to my class. And we've got 1 assignment, look, we've got a thing there, and we've got these 2 pins. And then this is my class in exactly the same way as the default Busy Things classes are there. I can click on that and I've got all that I'm used to seeing. Back in your teacher hub, you can hide large areas of this and change what page it lands on. Do you know how to do that?
No.
Okay, I'll show you that when we go back. Right, and the children can, sorry, click on this plus, exactly like you did, if they want to, and make themselves an avatar. Okay, so you'll start to build up pictures of everybody. When we go back to manage pupils now, Anne-Marie will have a picture. Right, but let's do some work and then I can show you how you would then pick up that work and comment on it. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to very quickly do an elephant. So that wasn't an assignment. That was just a piece of work, that a topic that we blasted forward. So what's nice about doing topic work through an assignment is it collates it all for you in the assignments area. So this is an example of a project that we did as an assignment. So if you look, it looks slightly different. And what's nice is that it knows who I am already. I don't have the same sort of saving process. It's much simpler because it's going to put it in my files area. Right. I just get a submit because it was an assignment. Your assignment has been submitted to your teacher. Well done. So I would recommend, if you're going to do topic work where they're painting and writing, to use the assignments area to push that forward. And then for games, either put them in a pin like this. This is the year 3 maths, or put them into a blast like that. So let's just play this so that we get it to appear in the timeline. Right, so I've done both these pieces of work, and I've been in there. Now there's nothing to stop me going into my class and just playing whatever I want to do as well. So I might just do a bit of time in here. Okay, I didn't mark that, but hopefully it will pick it up. Right, okay, so what I've done there is I've been a pupil and I've done some of the stuff that you've asked me to do. So I'm going to go back now and be the teacher again and see if I can see what has been going on in my class setup. So if I go back to teacher mode, this would be me coming along the next day and logging in as a teacher. First step, click on my busy things, click your name, put your code in. If you can hear that, that's dogs under me whining. Not me making funny noises. Right, so I've been in, I've identified myself, I click on my class, and if I go into assignments, I can see I've had one submission. But if you imagine you'd push that forward to the whole class, hopefully you'd see more than that. If you go on to results, you can see these are the children that haven't yet completed it, and these are the ones that have. And you can see what they've done and send feedback here. And again, you can use the checkboxes to send multiple feedback. You don't have to do each child individually. So I'm going to send feedback on that and say great work. There's a send message to all there. That would send them a message saying, can you do the assignment, please? Because these are the ones that haven't done it. And these are the ones that have. So 31 pupils have not yet completed this assignment because we've only accessed it with one child. So, okay, so we sent some feedback there. If I look in the class timeline, this takes a while to populate. So I think it's every 15 minutes. I can see that Anne-Marie has done animals in the jungle. And if I click on her, I can see what else she's been doing. So at the moment, it's only refreshed. It's only caught this, but we did the maths game, and what else did we do? We did the ordering the numbers, and they will appear in here over time. And you can send feedback from the timeline area as well. I'm nearly done.
In a minute.
Right, so all feedback through this top area, all planning, pushing forward through content in this area. So if you want to change what they see in the class setup, go to the activities that you like. You've got these two options here, Oak Class Settings, Hide Show Content. Okay, so first step, find the area, the screen that you want them to concentrate on. Click on Hide Show Content, start customizing. Maybe hide a couple that you don't think are quite right and click Done. And then you go to Oak Class Settings and Landing Page and click Use Current Page. So what we've done there is we've changed the class setup here to just show those 3 activities now. So it's these 2 buttons in combination are very powerful, the settings button and the hide show content. Right, I'm just going to nip back now and be the pupil and show you what the feedback looks like, and then we're finished. Okay, so I'm Anne-Marie, I'm in this class. I've made a picture of myself, 3 gloves, and I've got 2 messages here, and this is where I pick up my feedback. So we fed back on that one and that one. This one we fed back in the assignments area, and this one we fed back in the class timeline. If I look in my timeline, yeah, that's still not, it will start building up there. So parents at home can see what their children have been doing as well in there. And if I click on the class now, she just sees those activities. There's nothing else in there. So that sort of way of containing what they're doing each day. Okay. I've shown you quite a lot there.
Yeah, it's great that it's been recorded because I can have a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right. Should I just send you? I'll upload that to YouTube and just send a private link, and you can share that with other members of staff.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
That's really helpful. Thank you. We don't utilise Busy Things as like I didn't realise you could do any of that on it. We just literally go in and let them play games.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's brilliant.
That's what the default setups are for, but if you make your own, you can really start to use it. All right, I'll let you get back to
Lovely, thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.